Well, imagine my surprise when we get another stream from Amarok, and not only is it actual AI stuff rather than just playing the game, but we get to see the T-Rex for the first, well, I shouldn't say the first time in a while because we saw him a little bit yesterday, but we get to see him more. And most of the stream was actually the T-Rex this time around. He does play with the Tenantos a little bit, and you get to see him move around a little bit undisturbed, but it was a lot of the T-Rex. It seems they're trying to work on that thing where large dinosaurs can push over trees and whatnot. And we do see one example of the raptor getting to do that as well, which is why I kept it in. It was more of a, you know, a nice, good view of the trees just kind of flopping over. Naturally, it's just a placeholder animation, but still, it's something new, it's something different. A majority of this was him trying to get the Rex's attention, trying to get to chase him, and then trying to get it to chase him through the trees. They seem to have a difficult time gaining and maintaining aggro. Not only that, they're super duper slow, so you could basically just walk away from them. And they do seem to lose interest fairly quickly. That or, again, because they're so slow, it just seems like they lose interest. Who knows? Anyway, he kept trying to get him to go through the trees and whatnot. I kind of wonder if he should have just spawned them closer to the trees because the walk over was just so long. Imagine what you're seeing here, but again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and that was most of the stream. It was trying to get the Rex's attention, leading it through the trees so you'll knock him over, and then just kind of staring for a while and resetting it to do it all over again. So, naturally, I only put a few of those in. The one you're probably seeing right now is the longest one, at least of the Rexes. I think the Tenanto one's a little bit longer, but it gives you all a good idea of what the Rexes are like right now. He did say eventually that, yeah, these animations are temporary, they're the old ones. And they're not synced up properly, it looks like, but through most of this stream, he didn't realize, and this was like, I think it was over 2 hours by the time he noticed, he had been talking the whole time and his mic was muted, or disconnected, or whatever it was. Which is a little odd because we know he interacts with chat a lot and you'd think chat would have given him a hint or two, oh, I'm speaking but no one's reacting to what I'm saying, sort of thing. Because usually he interacts quite a bit with chat. So, I found that a little odd, but whatever. It works in my favor because it's less fishing around for me. I can just call unneeded video without having to worry about the audio. When he was talking, aside from the comment of the Rex's animations being old, there wasn't really anything of note that he said, so I just got rid of all of it. There's no point. So let's consider overall thoughts on this stream, since frankly there's not a lot to say regarding the T-Rexes, and as you can see it went on for a long time. I think the stream itself was about 4-ish hours, 5, something like that. A majority of it was the Rex, and a majority of it was, as I said, the same thing repeated again and again. But that's AI in a nutshell. You kind of just have to get it to work, and of course other systems as well. I think he's working on the destruction in general there, so that's yet another thing that you have to repeat again and again to see if it works, what bugs out, and tweak something, do it again, tweak something, do it again, etc, etc. So there's only a few clips this time, but again, they're long, so it works out. It was okay. Considering the Rex doesn't really do anything right now and it's so slow, it's just kind of there. It wasn't very fascinating so far as the Rex goes. Seeing the destruction's cool and nice and all, but it's at its early stages, so can't really say much on it right now. The Tenanto stuff was okay. I mean, we saw most of it yesterday. They do seem to roam around more now, but they aren't really in a herd for the most part, so this might be like solo dudes testing rather than, you know, group dudes testing for the most part. I mean, there were some parts where they were in a group. It was loose, but they were in a group. And I think there was footage of a baby as well. But overall, it wasn't anything too different from what we saw the last time. I think this is mostly just working out their final form, so to speak. So it wasn't too terribly much in that regard. I took the final few for the Tenanto to sort of highlight where it's come so far. But again, most of it was seen yesterday, so not much. Overall, in summary, rather than, you know, in a long-winded thing, it was okay. Like, seeing some new stuff in the form of Rex, kind of, even though he didn't do much, and the destruction, kind of, even though it's in its early stage, which, I mean, nothing against that because I like seeing from beginning to end. It's more, there's not a lot to say on it right now. It's just kind of, it's in its little baby form, and there's not a lot to comment on. And then again, the Tenanto we've basically seen a whole bunch of, and this was more or less the same thing, just on another map. It's fine. Like, it wasn't very interesting, so it's just kind of there. And in the end, unless we start seeing this in-game, it's just Like, I've said many times before, there was footage of more advanced Utah AI ages ago. And yes, he said somewhat recently that all of that was done in blueprints for some reason. And so he's redoing it in C++, as it should have been done in the beginning. But I digress. It's still a case of this AI has been worked on for how many years and we've got basically nothing to show for it. Yes, Amarok keeps being put on other projects and doing other things, like the UI and other mechanics. However, it doesn't change the fact AI guy hasn't been doing AI for ages now. Like, we basically have no AI right now, except for super duper bare bones deer that wander around, except for I never even see them. The rabbit I saw was frozen in place, it never moved. The compies will just jump up to you and sit there. It goes on and on and on, so until we start seeing some improvement in game, this is just kind of there and nothing else. Like, it's like seeing something shiny and so you buy it and then you get it and it's like a cheap knockoff plastic thing that breaks apart the second you try to open the box. There's not much to it. The stuff we've seen in the streams is always great, and then we supposedly get it in games sometimes, and it turns out to be a hot mess, so Like, I never got to experience much of the dinosaur AI. I think I saw, what was it? It was either Stego or Tenanto ages ago when they put it in the first time. But I only saw one, and it was at a distance, and this isn't counting the Dryo, which should still be in the game as it is, because for one, no one plays Dryo, and two, Dryo only has to run, so there's no point in not having Dryo AI, but whatever. Anyway, that's the only AI I've had interaction with, but apparently I think there was Carno AI for a while, and it was so bad, people complained so much, the devs took out all the Dino AI, including friggin' Dryo, which shouldn't have been removed to begin with. And, well, yeah. Like, Hypsy and Dryo could totally just be AI and wander around doing nothing because they're basically worthless as it is. Hypsy AI could spit and stuff, but in the end it's still Hypsy, it doesn't matter what it does, just let it be there. I've seen, well, I didn't even see it, I heard one Hypsy player the last time I played, and that was about it. Most of them were Crocs, I did see a few Troodons, I got stepped on by a Cerato and he didn't even see me because I was the size of a blade of grass, and so on and so forth, but, I mean, no one really plays Dryo or Hypsy, they just don't. Even back in the day when Dryo was one of the few playables available, I saw maybe one person play it. No, yes, it was one person and it was my friend. She played it. That was it. She wanted to interact with the AI and nothing really happened. I think it actually killed her too. Although it might have killed her when she was a Hypsy. Close enough. Anyway, yeah. But I can only hope we start seeing more soon. The world feels so empty without AI. It's just a shame, really. Like, I've encountered players and all that stuff, it's fine, I guess. But you can't play on a server without full capacity people, and even then, sometimes you take forever to run into someone. I starved to death twice on my prior on my prior playthroughs, and I didn't meet a single person except for the Cerato that stepped on me at one point, and that was it. During the times I was able to stay alive, I ran into a few people, but that's versus the other few times where I ran into absolutely no one at all. And in Center, the frames drop so bad I can't stay in that area. I knew there were Troodons there, I could hear them calling, but I couldn't be in that area because my frames went from 60 to friggin' 9 and 10 in the drop of a hat. So I had to get out of the area or else I'd just be having another Windows slideshow moment for a video game, and not fun. It's kind of sad that this thing can run Ark just fine, which is the most unoptimized piece of garbage game I've ever witnessed, and yet this game manages to break somehow. Like, gosh. The only time I've broken Ark was when my friend accidentally left two penguins on breed and we logged out for the night, but the server kept going, and so when we came back, there were so many penguins in one area, like stacked on top of each other, wandering around, like hundreds and hundreds of those little penguins just roaming around. And even then we were still able to eventually stay signed in long enough without crashing to whistle our dinosaurs on aggressive so they could start deleting the penguins. That was the only time I've just absolutely broken Ark. Which, honestly, is impressive in one hand, but also sad in another. It's sad in that the aisle breaks seemingly without reason. Like, in Center, I did see some people, and I smelled some corpses, but I didn't think it was that much. Like, again, I've seen much more in Ark, and there's always much more going on in Ark, so it's like, what's going on, man? Like, I've got 2 people building across the map, and I'm still doing just fine over here. In a place full of dinosaur AI that's all doing different things at different times, and because it's Ark, they all fight each other constantly. So there's corpses, there's eating, there's fighting, there's roaming, there's fleeing, there's all sorts of stuff going on, all at once. And yet. But anyway, that's off topic, and I thankfully don't think I need to go any longer because, I've already talked the entire video, I think it's fine. Anyhow, have a great day, night, whatever time you see this / it gets posted, and goodbye!
Thank you.